You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up, good people? Welcome to Bernard Riley Reviews, where I attack ideas and not people. But it's always a little tough when I'm reviewing a Derrick Jaxn video. But I was trying to stay focused on the ideas, the topics, and points, and focus on that. No personal attacks. All about attacking the ideas and not people. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
All right, so recently I was having a live chat and the topic came up about my reaction to B. Simone's video of the comedian woman who was talking about how women basically need to bring to the table what it is they're asking for. And one of those things that she said is that, women, you can't be asking for a man who got all this money and you broke and disgusted and so on and so forth. And there were a lot of dudes who were basically co-signing, saying that's facts, that's truth. I'm glad somebody said it. And what I said was, well, that's highly hypocritical because on one hand, y'all saying that, but on the other hand, you're saying if a woman is successful and all that, you really don't care. At least according to what I've heard and what a lot of other people have heard, some viral videos and all that good stuff, right?
All right. That was already the first sin. He's doing what a lot of women do when they try to respond to things that men say in these spaces. Men are online talking about women. Men are expressing themselves, giving their ideas, views, thoughts, perspectives, and all of that. And quite often what women will try to do, they will try to take something that one group of men said, or that one particular man said, or one particular content creator said, and try to juxtapose that or merge it together with what another group of men said, another content creator said. Because what he just tried to do is cobble a bunch of different men together. There's a lot of different men with a lot of different views and perspectives, and there are some men who still have that view and that mindset of, yeah, I like an independent woman. I've been showing some videos by Kendra G, who does something similar to what Kevin Samuels does. And a lot of the guys, when she asked them what type of woman do they want, they would say, yeah, they want her to be independent and ambitious. It's still some guys who are talking like that. Then there's another branch of guys over there, the more Kevin Samuels side of the aisle, that are saying that they don't care that much about a woman's money and what she brings to the table financially, because those are men who got it together financially, and it doesn't really matter that much to them what a woman brings to the table. They care about other things that she brings to the table. But he's doing what women do, what women in white knights do, where they try to cobble different men together to try to create one big, huge, self-contradictory guy so they can easily argue against it. They're essentially building a straw man argument. And whenever you see somebody doing what he just did right there, you know that they're not arguing in good faith. You know that they're not coming to this conversation with sincerity and they're just trying to figure out a way to win. Because the first round of him responding to Kevin Samuels, he actually lost. If you look at the total amount of views that his video got from responding to Kevin Samuels, and then you look at the views from various people in the manosphere who made various videos and add up all of their total views in responding to him, responding to Kevin Samuels, it ranked somewhere in the millions with all the total amount of views. So this was the first time where there was a subject in the black male response that drowned out his voice. First time that ever happened.
Since then, there's been some conversation just off of that little piece. And basically the conversation is that Derrick basically said a man is trash if he don't care about a woman's success, or a man should care about a woman's success. Or
out of all the responses that I saw to him responding to what men were saying, I don't recall anybody saying that Derrick Jaxn said that a man is trash if he doesn't care about your accomplishments. I don't recall nobody exactly saying that. He just strongly made the case that a man should care about a woman's accomplishments. And we made the simple point that's empirically proven that men just simply do not care as much about a woman's accomplishments. The only thing we stated was facts. So it doesn't make sense to say, oh, they said that Derrick Jaxn said that a man is trash. No, we stated some facts. That's what happened.
Whatever, something to that nature. And let me just say this, when it comes to that, there are two things wrong with that conversation. Neither of them are a man's preferences. When we're talking about preferences, and I want everybody to understand this, we're out of the arena of ethics, unless you're talking about underage or something like that. But when it comes to preferences, it's like saying somebody's wrong for liking the color green. That's not what's wrong. What's wrong is the hypocrisy. But this time, the hypocrisy that I'm referring to is, on one hand, we have a lot of guys who stand very firm on that whole, oh, it don't matter what a woman has achieved, or, you know, what type of degree she got, what type of money she got, what business she started. But then on the other hand, we have a lot of men, and I venture to say most men, that expect today's women to pay at least some of the bills, if not half the bills.
So again, he's still playing the same exact game where he tries to cobble different men together. He's trying to take the arguments that were made by some men and merge them with another man so he can find some convoluted, contrived way to find men in some contradictory or hypocritical position. That's all he's doing, and it's very obvious. There are the men that don't care about a woman's accomplishments, and then there are the men who do expect women to pay a percentage of the bills. Then there are the men who expect full-blown 50-50, flat out, no questions asked. There are many different camps of men. But for the type of men that women say that they want, that man who can pay all the bills, that particular man that they're pushing for, that they're fighting for, that they are all saying that they want, that particular man who's doing what you ultimately said in previous videos that a man should do, is pay 100% of the bills, that he should lead the charge when it comes to making sure that the bills get paid. Those type of men that you have ultimately tried to sell them, and that they have ultimately said that they want, those particular men who got it like that, who've accomplished their own thing, have their own business, or have their own money and can pay for everything, those type of men don't care as much, and in some cases at all, about how much money a woman brings to the table. That is simple math. So going over here to the guys who expect, yeah, she should work a little bit, and pay some of the bills, those guys. And then the full-blown 50-50 guys who have basically taken women at their word. Okay, I want to work, I want to make you money, you want to do this, you want to do that, you are a woman, here you roar, all right, I raise you 10, or whatever the saying is. So again, different types of men saying different types of things for different types of reasons. I believe he's smart enough to understand that.
But then on the other hand, we have a lot of men, and I venture to say most men, that expect today's women to pay at least some of the bills, if not half the bills. And in some cases, all the bills in a relationship.
You can see right there, he just went as far as to add the couch surfing hobo sexual into the conversation. That person is not a part of the conversation about whether or not men care about a woman's career or the money that she makes. We obviously know that that's the guy that, if any guy cares about the money a woman makes, is the guy who makes $0 and expect her to pay all the bills. Obviously that guy cares. Like, come on.
If not half the bills, and in some cases, all the bills in a relationship. So my whole thing is, you can't have it both ways. Again, we're not talking about right or wrong, like what you like, but it's inconsistent. And that's contrary to a lot of these dudes out here talking about how logical they are and, emotional women are. Well, it's highly inconsistent for you not to care about a woman's success and the money that she got, but then want to care whenever it's time for her to pay some of the bills. Like, you can't even afford some of the preferences that you got before we can even talk about whether or not it's problematic or toxic or what have you.
Now, he just tried to smuggle into the conversation the notion, the idea that it's toxic for a man to say that he doesn't care about the money that a woman makes or her career. He tried to slip that under the rug. And maybe not even try to slip it under the rug. Maybe he just full-blown just kicked the door down with it, because that's kind of what he do. But it's contradictory, and it's showing hypocrisy on his part. Because in another breath, he will say, and keep in mind, I'm not cobbling different men together. I'm talking about the same individual. He will say quite often that a man should be providing for a woman. But then again, he's saying it's toxic if a man is about providing to the point to where he doesn't care what she can provide financially. He should see no problem with that. To try to say that that's toxic, it is not making any sense. It's toxic if that man who can provide for a woman does not care about the money that she brings to the table because he's trying to bring that money to the table, or he's going to bring that money to the table. He don't care about that. He cares about other things that she could bring to the table. He's trying to slip that in that is toxic, and that speaks to something that I always say about him, that his goal is for people to not be paired up and happy, but for women to be on a constant hamster wheel. One day the broke guy with the heart of gold is great for you. One day the provider is great for you, but then the provider with the heart of gold, he keeps the conversation all over the place, and not on a straight path to where no matter where they're at, no matter what's being said, no matter what's going on, his goal is to justify them being single and not ultimately giving men what they want, so they could be by themselves and he could sell them self-love.
Put it like this: if I was into gambling and into putting $100,000 bets on a Little League football game, of course that's irresponsible. But if I only got $5 in my pocket, first off, before we can even talk about the ethics and the morals of the situation, I need to get more money before I start talking like that. So as a man, you cannot be talking about how you don't care about a woman's success and you don't care about a woman's money if you're not getting off your mama's couch and out of her basement until you find a woman who got some money. First off, what he would have to do, again, prove that guys who are on their mother's couch, prove that those are the men who are saying they don't care about a woman's money. I guarantee you can't prove that. And you can't prove it because it's not true. And if it's not true, and if he knows it's not true, why is he saying it? He's just gaslighting women. All of that is okay. That's all it is a panda bear magic trick to try to make them okay with their current situation so they can be sold self-love. I'm gonna stop saying that. About the ethics and the morals of the situation, I need to get more money before I start talking like that. So as a man, you cannot be talking about how you don't care about a woman's success and you don't care about a woman's money if you're not getting off your mama's couch and out of her basement until you find a woman who got some money. First off. But that's not even the most important part of what I'm gonna talk about today. The most important part I'm gonna talk about is really directed at the women. Ladies, let me be real with y'all. The truth is, many men, if not most men, don't care about your success. That sucks to even say. I'm not proud of that at all. But let's qualify that a little bit more. If a man doesn't care, because this don't apply to all men, if a man doesn't care about your success, what you've achieved, what you worked hard for, how much you studied, or all of that stuff, if he don't care about what you've done before the relationship, how much is he going to care about your achievements during the relationship? How much?
If a man doesn't care about what she did before the relationship, to ask the question, how much is he going to care about her achievements during the relationship? Of course he's going to care about the achievements during the relationships if those achievements are in some way, shape, or form helping or cultivating some type of the flourishing of the relationship. Typically, when women make their own money, there's a lot of time, not all the time, but a lot of time, they develop a strong, independent, don't need no man attitude. And if the man steps up to the plate and delivers the way that he's supposed to deliver and expected to deliver per traditional roles, then whatever she accomplished before the relationship, she's not going to be using that to help the relationship, so it becomes irrelevant to the relationship. And what she ultimately will end up doing, her accomplishments during the relationship, if the relationship goes all the way to, the American dream, married, kids, picket fence, dog, all of that stuff, her accomplishments during the relationship will be the in-house marital accomplishments. She'll be raising her kids.
Is he going to show up for you, be your number one fan, buy that first product of your business, help you get some inventory, help you make note cards, to help you study the night before your finals exam to get that master's degree or that doctorate, so whatever. how much is that man going to meet your emotional needs for support in a relationship? You see, when this conversation comes up, there's a lot of surface level, elementary dialogue, even from people who look the part, sound the part, and all of that. It's really basic, but let's be a little bit more intelligent about it. The truth.
Another jab at Kip Samuels. Even with people that look the part, it's really basic. Nice one. I'm gonna let it roll.
This many men, if not most men, don't care, but a man who can meet your emotional needs in a relationship does. He does care about your achievements. He does care about what you've accomplished. However, that doesn't mean he's going to make the decision to be with you strictly based off that.
We, and by we, I mean black men, and more specifically the black manosphere, have ultimately forced Derrick Jaxn to change his shot. What I mean by change his shot is when Lonzo Ball came to the NBA, he was shooting that weird elbow out shot. His shot's still ugly, but he worked on it. He brought it in. He's not pulling up from over here like that. No, he's pulling up more straight in front of him. He changed his shot. That's what we just witnessed right there. We made Derrick Jaxn, who's been saying BS stacked on top of BS stacked on top of BS for so long, we've made him change his shot.
So if you're successful, but it translates over into you thinking you can belittle him, or you not knowing how to transition from boss lady at work to being his loving, soft, feminine wife at home, like if you don't understand the transition and how to translate all of that you're doing in your personal life over to value in a relationship, no, he's not going to want to be with you. But again, I would go so far as to say, ladies, y'all let me know, confirm or deny.
More changing his shot. He's acknowledging all of that, being able to make your own money and take care of yourself. Yes, it does translate over for a lot of women. Hashtag not all, but enough. It translates over into them ultimately thinking that they can come home and bring some attitude to the table. Now, he said in another video that he made after this one that a man should value a woman who's going to check him when he get out of line. But if the emotional, erratic woman is the one who determines whether or not this man is not on his path or on his mission or doing what he's supposed to do, then yeah, she's just going to be checking him, and a man should value that and understand why he's being checked and then get back in line. So at the same time, he still down the road did end up arguing for the same stuff that we've been speaking again. But again, he's hedging his bets now.
The same thing goes for y'all. And let me qualify women on this one as well. Real women with some real character. If a man got bread and he's rich and he's famous and all of this other stuff, but he's also an abuser, he's also a narcissist, he's also manipulative, entitled, he feels like he owns you, he feels like he's entitled to multiple of you, like you should chase him like he the prize, how attractive is that man?
Everything that he just said right there, a broke man can still do. And many of the hobosexuals that he mentioned earlier, many of them are doing that. Many of them are narcissists. Many of them are abusing women. Many of them are doing all of those things. So again, he's saying things to try to steer them away from being in a position where the man is the masculine leader and the provider, by saying that they may have to tolerate some abuse if that happens. He's been doing that ever since the high value thing has become a thing. Whenever somebody, again, is making that point, I'd rather be with a man with a regular job who loves me and treat me right than be with a successful man who abuses me. Though that's a statement that's normally made by a man, by a woman who has problems getting, attracting, and or keeping successful men. So she makes an argument to give herself basically the comfort food to make her feel comfortable and safe being in whatever situation that she's in. I hear men doing the same thing. I just recently heard a man on YouTube say that I'd rather be with a woman who's a 3 or a 4 who's a little overweight, but she treat me right, and she just basically and she love my dirty drawers, versus going and being with a woman who's an 8 or a 9 who thinks she can disrespect me. Dude, what you're really saying is you can't pull 8s or 9s, so you're just trying to figure out a way to be comfortable in your mind with your 3s and 4s. If that's what you qualify for, that's what you qualify for. No judgment, not hating on, hey, do your thing. But let's not try to pretend like someone being facially attractive all of a sudden makes their character bad, and someone being facially unattractive and overweight somehow makes their character good. And let's not pretend like somebody having money is by default going to make their character bad, and somebody not having money is by default going to make their character good.
Probably not very much, because all of that he got going on doesn't translate in a valuable way in a relationship. So again, a more intelligent approach to this whole topic of whether or not a man cares about is men who can meet your emotional needs do care. One of the core emotional needs for a woman, 9 core emotional needs, by the way, is support, both on a professional and a personal level. That man will not meet your needs. In fact, you don't even need data and graphs and statistics to know from experiences that at best that man will be apathetic to the things that you achieve in a relationship. If not, threatened by them. If not, insecure about it. If not, trying to challenge you and compete with you and box you in. So we really don't have to talk about most.
It sounds like he just tried to simply say that the man is more likely to be the one trying to compete with the woman, trying to box the woman in, trying to fight with her about her accomplishment. No. Women are the ones that try to compete with the men. That was really the whole idea and notion of feminism, that women can compete with men, that they could do what a man can do, that they could do this and they could do that, and they want to get all those jobs. I mean, come on, we know and we understand that men are not trying to compete with their women. Women are across the board ultimately trying to compete and out-compete men. We need more women, and for it to be more corporate executives, more CEOs and leading Fortune 500 companies. We need more women in the boardroom, more women here, more women there, women. Come on.
But the moral of the story is this. Matter of fact, I won't even say moral of the story. Like a lot of y'all, I've noticed that with the increase of women these days who have risen the standards on themselves, from self-loving and taking care of yourselves in relationships or whatever, to also raising the standard in your professional lives, there's also been a directly correlative rise in people with this whole "let me humble you" rhetoric. Everything good that you do is either for naught, it's pointless, or it counts against you. And let me say this, it don't matter if a man has a lot of status, if a man has a lot of money, if a man has a lot of options, does not have a lot of character. That's what defines a man. That's what defines a man. If you can replace everything that man brings to the table with a couple of sex toys and a bag of money, you better off eating at that table alone. So don't let your fear of singleness have you settling for stupid, ladies.
What?
A couple of sex toys and a bag of money, you better off eating at that table alone. So don't let your fear of singleness have you settling for stupid, ladies.
Okay. I've been making the point that he's been giving them advice that's going to lead to them being single, that's going to lead to them being by themselves, so he can sell them self-love. I've been saying that. I even apologized for it earlier because I didn't feel like maybe he wasn't exactly deliberately full-blown doing that, but he just went full gangster right there. I'm sorry, he went full gangster. He's saying that you can replace a man with money, with making your own money and sex toys. So be by yourself and love yourself, because self-love is on the rise, like he just said. Man, he just went far out his way to just make the point that I was starting to feel like I was stereotyping him, but no, he just went full gangster. He went full gangster right there. I actually want to hear that again. We about to rewind that and play part of that back.
And let me say this, it don't matter if a man has a lot of status, if a man has a lot of money, if a man has a lot of options, if he does not have a lot of character. That's what defines a man. That's what defines a man. If you can replace everything that man brings to the table with a couple of sex toys and a bag of money, you better off eating at that table alone. So don't let your fear of singleness have you settling for stupid, ladies?
If you can replace everything he brings to the table with a bag of money and a few sex toys, oh my goodness, he's literally making an argument that is the equivalent of when you go to an incel channel or some hardcore MGTOW channel, or the guys who are I don't even know what label to put on, but the guys who are talking about the sex dolls, they are basically saying you can replace her with they're basically saying that you can replace her with a sex doll. He's making the same argument as MGTOW and incels, but in reverse. He's teaching them to be some WGTOW femcells. And the whole character thing, again, disingenuous from the start. Disingenuous from the start, because nobody is saying get with the man that makes more money who will abuse you. Nobody is saying that. I gotta wrap it up right there. This thing was longer than what I expected. I'd like to thank everybody for coming on in. And as I say all the time, now I say it all the time, the live show, most of them, after they air on YouTube, they will be taken down and they will be going to the Patreon page. So make sure you join the Patreon page. Check out the Patreon. If you miss the live shows, you can watch it re-uploaded on Patreon. But that does it right there. That wraps up the Non-Riley Reviews. I'd like to thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and make sure you hit that like button on the way out if you haven't done that already. And thank you very much. We are out of here. Peace.